How you been, Brian?
Rich, I'm an Ohio State fan.
Yep.
I think the University of Michigan is a fantastic school.
Okay.
Ann Arbor is a wonderful town.
Thank you.
The state of Michigan is a great state.
Yes.
Great Lakes, great times.
Okay.
They should never have gotten rid of that slogan. And if I was an Oklahoma fan, I would be irritated beyond belief that Ohio State was ranked ahead of them.
Okay. See what I'm saying? That right there is normal. But you're out of the ordinary when it comes to people that call it hashtag TTUN. You know what I mean?
Sadly, I feel you're correct.
Okay. Brian Windhorst, the very level-headed Brian Windhorst here on the Rich Eisen Show. Where's Eric Bledsoe going, brother? Where do you think?
Well, there's a couple of teams that have offers in for him, but, you know, you see situations like this happen over the summer where you get a stalemate between a player and a team, and basically what you're waiting for is some event to happen out there to make somebody desperate, because the Suns' asking price for him, which is either a really good draft pick or a good young player on his rookie contract, nobody's offering that right now because the Suns are leveraged. If you're talking to the Suns, you're saying, listen, this guy's had multiple knee issues, and you've defamed him. You've called him a liar and a bad guy in public. So why should I pay good money for you? Or not money, but, good value for him. And so what's probably going to happen here is it's going to take an event, either something to happen for the Suns to move on or something to happen to another team out there, an injury or something else that we can't see the future on that causes people to change their position. Otherwise, I think we're going to have the stalemate continue.
So you think Thanksgiving he's still sitting there in Phoenix, Brian?
Because I can't, for example, the Milwaukee Bucks have an offer in, for him. The Bucks want to offer something like Matthew Dellavedova and their first-round pick this year, which won't be that good. Well, when the Suns call, they say, well, we want Thon Maker. We want, a young guy who's got a potential to be a really good player. And they really have nowhere to go. They have our position, you have your position. So if you say to me, well, what happens if the Bucks suffer an injury in their backcourt between now and Thanksgiving? Would that change things? Yes. But what if that injury doesn't happen? What if it happens to another team? What if it doesn't happen until December? I mean, honestly, it's a really good question by you, but I am in the position where I can look at the lay of the land and say something is going to have to happen, but we don't know when that event's going to take place. And that's why the Suns, because frankly, Rich, the Suns aren't trying to win right now. They're just fine with losing. So they'll just sit there and wait. It's not incumbent on them. Their owner has obviously made it clear he doesn't care about paying Eric Bledsoe $80,000 a day, which is what they're paying him, not to play for him.
Wow.
So we'll just keep going. Could be Thanksgiving, could be Christmas. My guess would be December 15th. And the reason, Rich, is December 15th is when all the guys who signed last year become available to be traded. That's about 30% of the league. So in December 15th area, I would think it will be done by then, as long as something doesn't happen between now and then that causes more urgency.
ESPN's Brian Windhorst here in the DirecTV NBA 4K report here on the Rich Eisen Show. Okay, after the Knicks blew out Cleveland for easily the high watermark of the Porzingis era in New York right now, Tyronn Lue said after the game, until we get our spirits right, it's going to be like this. What does he mean by spirits, Brian?
Yeah, if you watched that game, I said on television yesterday that they played half-assed, but actually I think I was wrong. I think they played quarter-assed. They gave no you-know-whats about that game, and you could read it all over their body language. And to me, they have some issues that are interesting. How does Derrick Rose and Dwayne Wade, two guys that don't shoot three-pointers, mesh with an entire roster designed to shoot three-pointers? How do their defensive challenges manifest themselves long-term? But talking about X's and O's right now at the Cavs is kind of moot because they're so not interested in competing. And, could be a bunch of reasons why. Excuse me. You have the fact that they're coming off 3 finals. You have the fact that they have the oldest team in the NBA, and this is the earliest start to a season. that's ever happened. And you have the fact that they don't have, real tough challengers in the Eastern Conference.
So do you think that the answer could be Isaiah Thomas, that he could give a shot in the arm and a boost of energy and, his infectiousness, like that's what's missing, even though he hasn't been part of this team?
Well, it's not fair to evaluate them until he comes back, because when you watch them right now, what you see is a team that is just as suspect on defense as they were last year, but doesn't have the same offensive firepower. So their margin for error is smaller. But, when Isaiah comes back, they're going to get a giant weapon back. So I think the most interesting thing about the Cavs right now is that Tyronn Lue is saying, this is unacceptable. We've got to play better. We can't afford these types of performances. And you have LeBron James saying, it's no big deal. Other than that, I'm not too worried about him, but it's interesting that LeBron and Ty Lue are taking such opposite ends of the spectrum, because last year they were a bad defensive team all year long. And so the concept is maybe start playing defense a little earlier so it becomes a habit. That's what Ty Lue is trying to do. And the Cavs, haven't been reciprocating yet.
Last one for you here, Brian Windhorst, DirecTV 4K NBA report. Because, obviously there's so much time between now and the end of the season. So you tell me, when is it acceptable, or when is it reasonable? How about that word? When is it reasonable to start talking about LeBron's thinking for his future during this season? When is that? Give me a date certain that you think it's reasonable to start talking about that, unless we've already reached that point.
Well, the thing is, LeBron and the teams live in two different worlds. The teams that want to sign LeBron have to think about it a year in advance. So if you're a fan of the Lakers, or you're a fan of the 76ers, or something like that, and you have a dream, you can talk about it now. But when it comes to LeBron, it's kind of like, Rich, when does the team plane leave? The team plane leaves when LeBron's ready for it to leave. Okay? LeBron goes on his schedule. And so he knows that whenever he says where he wants to go, it will happen. So as much as people, because their teams have to prepare for so long, as much as they want, and they so badly want this because they go around the country and the thirst is so strong, LeBron doesn't have to worry about it until December, until June. Because, just like the team plane, it leaves when he wants it to leave.
Brian, appreciate the time. It's the first of many. Really appreciate the call.
Thanks. Sorry I'm under the weather a little bit.
All good, man. A lozenge and take two and call me in the morning. That's Brian Windhorst.
All right, take care.
At Windhorst ESPN.
For more Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Rich Eisen Show app.